1990's Night of the Living Dead is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Sony. It can be found as a non-exclusive steelbook available at your online retailers. As far as remakes go, the 1990 version of Night of the Living Dead is a rather good one. It's pretty faithful to the original, and of course you have the late great Tony Todd playing one of the central roles. I'm not exactly a fan of how Barbara was portrayed here, but the rest of the film works pretty well. Even though it's been many years since I've seen the movie, it was a fun revisit. Night of the Living Dead on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has an aspect ratio of 1:5:1 with native 4K resolution, and it supports both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For a list of equipment that I use for my review, check the video description. The film's transfer underwent a restoration, with the newly included uncensored cut supervised by the director himself, Tom Savini. The source is clean, blemish-free. In fact, it looks pretty darn good. Grain is finely layered and shows no signs of smoothing out or other forms of management. My recollections for how this film looked date all the way back to a late-night cable viewing. I've never owned the film on physical media. After watching the 4K, I can't imagine this looking as good as it does here on any previous versions, especially with the reported odd color timing on one of those editions. Detail enhancement is at times startling, but image clarity still falls well within the line of cinematic as opposed to razor sharp. Textures look great across the board, with the Rising Dead of course taking center stage with the amount of decay, wounds, and other gore. Some of it is still shadowed intentionally, but when it's on full display, it's really on full display. The film's palette has a slightly muddied appearance, once again intentionally so, but Dolby Vision still allows for some punchy-looking primaries. The opening and closing day sequences show the best visuals in terms of flourish, with the bulk of the middle portion of the movie keeping things more subdued. Skin tones appear naturally warm, for the living at least, whereas the dead look appropriately drained of life. Black levels for the most part are dialed in fairly well. Night sequences are nice and deep, and dark interiors convey the proper atmosphere and look. Shadow detail offers some creative and intentional crush, but it works within the style of the film presented. Night of the Living Dead on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a Dolby Atmos audio mix, which folds down to a Dolby True HD 7.1. This is on both the theatrical and uncensored cuts of the film. There is also a DTS 5.1 mix on both tracks, but only the theatrical supports a 2.0 audio. As I mentioned earlier, it's been a number of years since I've last watched the film, and even then it was only through the TV's most likely limited 2.0 audio track. Both theatrical and uncensored cuts each received a Dolby Atmos mix, and to my ears, they sounded like a serviceable, though far from demo-worthy presentation. I've also read some reports online from fans, more familiar with the film than I, but there appears to be some minor audio cue glitches in the new mix, sprinkled here and there. To my knowledge, I can't pinpoint exactly what these are, and I think that most of the casual viewers probably wouldn't notice either, but the more hardcore fans certainly do. So taking the Atmos mix at face value, it was generally a fine presentation. The film's sound design has more of a claustrophobic feel to it, and I think the additional height channels add some limited engagement with that in mind. For the mid-level and rears, there are some enjoyable moments that pour through, especially as the Rising Dead close in on our survivors. There are also some light ambient and atmospheric effects that can be heard. Dialogue is clean and clear through the center, and the low end has modest push and isn't particularly shy when called for. Just for fun, I listened to some of the film with the 2.0 audio track on the theatrical version, and it was overall very pleasing. The source was clear and full-bodied throughout. There is a good amount of both new and legacy extras included, beginning with the new uncensored cut version audio commentary from director Tom Savini. I listened to about 25 minutes or so, and it was some very good recollections from the director, and I plan on revisiting it again very soon. On the main Blu-ray disc, there are a wide variety of both old and new content from various interviews with the cast and crew, behind the scenes, and additional information about the film and its process. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Night of the Living Dead on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A. Visually, the movie looks really good on the format, and I think a lot of people will enjoy how this turned out. The source looks great from start to finish, and the addition of HDR and Dolby Vision adds a nice bit of visual oomph to the picture, but it still retains its cinematic appearance. I think most will no doubt enjoy the upgrade. For the audio, I scored it an A-. Either cut of the film enjoys a new Dolby Atmos track, though it's only the theatrical version that keeps a 2.0 for those to enjoy. Aside from a few audio anomalies that may irk some hardcore purists out there, to me, the audio mix was a good one. And for the extras, I graded them an A. Normally, Sony doesn't make a lot of effort when it comes to releasing catalog titles with good extras, and I'm glad to see that it has changed with this latest release. There's a whole slew of bonus supplements included here, which I plan to go through more thoroughly very soon. So that is my review of Night of the Living Dead on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray from Sony. If you're interested in getting a copy for yourself, I will attempt to leave a link in the comment section. Right now, it is very hard to find. It's been sold out for a number of weeks, but I will keep trying to update it. But if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.